there, Goobers! We're back to content. So unfortunately I still haven't found anything else to do yet for this channel. I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna do a Destiny expansion tier list. Because for those who know, or know me at least, I play Destiny, and I love the game. I love the game since the alpha, and now it's just in a pretty weird state, which we will get to that in a moment. So I haven't played stuff because I haven't, well, let's just get to that at a moment, but for now, I will say there is a bit of a thunderstorm going on where I'm from, and you'll probably hear it. I'm going to turn my mic up. You might hear my PC, but yeah, so let's get this started because I don't know what else to do. So we're starting off with D1 Year 1, Vanilla Destiny. So for those that have been around the internet, you probably know that this game was right here. Yeah, this game kind of had a rough start. Its story, if I can even call it that, it was a fucking tutorial. The whole story was a tutorial, and there was just kind of nothing to do. Like, there just wasn't really much to do. The game was basic, the missions were the exact same. Hey, go there and scan this, scan that, do this and that. And after replaying it again, uh-oh, I just saw it flashed by my window. Oh my god. And there it is. Yep. Yeah, so D1 Year 1 had a rough start. But then we got Dark Below, which it wasn't really better, but it did kind of save the game. So Destiny Crota, or Dark Below, what the Crota DLC basically. So this one, we got a new raid. Also, I forgot to mention, in D1, the one thing that saved the game was Vault of Glass, which is a new raid that we got at the time, was the thing that saved the game. Okay. It was at the time that saved the game. And then Crota, Dark Below, I keep mistaking this as Crota. This one, it didn't do much. It didn't really do much. It gave us a new raid, Crota's End, which many people consider to be the first dungeon in the world because you can just solo it. All characters, you can solo it. It is the only raid in the game, I think. There's other raids you can also solo. I've seen people do Wrath solo, and this one is like the most soloable raid ever. And that version of the raid is better than the other. Yeah. So we're gonna get to the next one, House of Wolves. This one also didn't do much. It didn't give us a new raid, but it gave us a lot of more exotics. And also, I might have to do a bit of cutting here and there because I don't want to cut the recording, as the thunderstorms are gonna zap my power out. So yeah, House of Wolves, it didn't do a whole lot. It just gave us more exotics and a new story about... I kind of forgot about what happened in this, but it just didn't do much for me. I completely forgot most of it. Zeus, can you stop trying to bomb my place down? Good lord. I get it, you're mad, but please don't. Or maybe he's just hyping it up because the next one we got is Taken King. Do I even need to say it? Taken King literally changed the game forever. There was so much to do. The Dreadnought was easily one of my favorite locations in the game. There was so much to do there. A lot of new strikes and a phenomenal raid and a phenomenal villain. It was the shit. If you weren't around at this time, oh, you also got new subclasses. For Titans, you got the Solar Hammer. For Hunters, you got the Tether Void Shot. And for Warlocks, the Arc fucking... Yeah, whatever. I don't play a lot of Warlocks, so I won't really remember much about it. So, Taken King, you gotta love it, man. And you also get to see a fucking god. Because you killed a god's son, and then this dude, Oryx, the god himself, was pissed. He's pissed at you. And we got a new enemy type called the Taken. Oh my god. Literally, get me more of this, man. Alright, next up is Rise of Iron. I mean, this is a no-brainer as well. Bungie, for some reason... Stop it! Yeah, Bungie, for some reason, hates this DLC so much that they brought it, they tried to bring it back, which we will get to later. It is so dumb on how Bungie wants you to forget about this expansion. Because it's so good. It's so good. And Siva, by far one of my favorite subjects of this game. Easily one of the best, but Bungie, for some reason, hates it so much. But, like, the Wrath of the Machine raid, the Plague Land, Siva, the introduction to the Iron Lords. How can you hate this expansion? It's phenomenal. Which I'll get back to this game for a moment, but right now I'm going to cut my recording just in case of, I get zapped down. So yeah, another thing I want to add here is Bungie, stop ignoring Siva. Alright, Goobers, I should be back now. So, I did kind of rush this because, the whole thunderstorm thing that was happening. It's still here, but it's going away now. It went by pretty quick. I usually don't get thunderstorms a lot here. It's been a while since I last had something like this. I mean, I had some thunder here and there, but it was not like where it was not like where it was just kind of, there for a while. But hey, at least it's gone. But yeah, it was kind of aggressive, actually. I haven't had thunder like that in a while, so... Alright, so... I'm gonna go back, because I rushed this, kind of. So, Destiny 1, I don't really need to talk about this game, because what is there to talk about? This game has nothing. Or, this era had nothing. And Dark Below, well, we did get a new raid and some exotics here and there. There just isn't really much to it. To be honest, there wasn't really a whole lot besides the new raid and the fact that it's soloable. It's kind of nice to have that. And House of Wolves, I still don't really remember much about this one, but all I remember is that it's much better. And we got the reef and all of that. I mean, it's a good expansion. It's a good expansion. We get the whole thing about the reef and everything. We get Prison of Elders, which was nice. And I still think that mode is far done better than how we did it today, which we'll get to that in a moment. And Taken King, I didn't go a whole lot through this, but essentially in Dark Below, we literally killed Crota, the son of Oryx, and then in this one, Oryx literally comes by and then says, hey, why the fuck are you murdering my son? I'm gonna take over the whole fucking soul system because you killed my kid, you piece of shit. Yeah, Oryx is just pissed. And the raid, well, I've heard the weapons in that raid were kind of not good. That's not going to stop me from doing it, because D2 right now is in a, we'll get to that in a moment. I've been kind of re-grinding this game. And it feels so nice to do so. But yeah, Taken King literally changed the game, and Rise of Iron, I still don't know why Bungie hates this expansion. Because the things about Rise of Iron is that it's so good. And this was the time I grinded the hell out of Destiny, because I didn't really have... This is going to be a story, right? I was a kid when I played this game. I was still a small, itty-bitty little boy back then, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I also didn't have Xbox Live Gold, because for those who don't know, this game was the first time I got the first, like, new-gen console game I ever got, and it was the Xbox One that I first had, and then way later on I got the PS4. This was the first game that I got for my Xbox One. And I was a Borderlands player, and I loved that game to this day, and I'm so hyped for BO4. Can't wait to play it. It's looking a lot better than BO3, to be honest. BO3 was quite questionable. But yeah, since Rise of Iron came out, I got Xbox Live Gold. I grinded the hell out of it. I still didn't do the raids. I know, I gotta do them. But yeah, this was a time for me to play the game. So yeah, now it's time to get to the part where I actually played the D2 Year 1. This one, I'm going to put it below right here. This one had a rough launch as well. Now, in terms of campaign, S tier. Like S tier. But the game as a whole back then, I literally dropped the game and kind of forgot about it because I got into being a Call of Duty kid, which was a miserable experience to be in. Trust me, I know how it is. The one thing I remember most about D2 Year 1 was the double primaries. There were no special weapons. You only had to use double primaries. All you had was 2 primary guns and a heavy weapon. And everything was a heavy weapon. Like your shotguns, your fusions, your fusion rifles. Yeah, it was kind of stupid. And I think, if I remember correctly, they did this to focus more on gunplay, but it didn't work. Also, Zeus is back. But yeah, the systems that they went with did not work at all. It was not good. Also, the new subclass, like, 2.0 system that we had back then, that was a huge downgrade from this. Yeah. I'm so glad they changed it now, but my god, it was not a good time. And as for, I don't know what these two are, so I'm not gonna get into these. But these ones, I have not played. And these are all seasonal stuff, which I also have not played. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not play in this era because I was so distracted as a Call of Duty kid, and it was miserable. It was so bad. Yeah, I kind of just forgot about Destiny as a whole, so I just, didn't play these. I'm also just going to include some of these as well. I'm just going to include some of those because I didn't play any of this. But I did, however, play Shadowkeep because that's not vaulted. Shadowkeep. I'm gonna put it right here. So Shadowkeep, it does not do anything. It's basically just Crota DLC, but a lot worse. Now, I will say, it looks cool. We got the introduction to seeing the pyramid and how it was trying to hype up our Big Bad, The Witness, and all of that, but it didn't do a whole lot. The raid Garden of Salvation is memed on to be the absolute worst in the game, and also to be the best in the game, which there's just a huge mixed bag on Garden. I don't hate that raid. I just don't think it's as good as, like, oh, it's not as good as Wrath or King's Fall or Vault of Glass. But it's up there with Crota because, as you know, I am a big Crota hater, or Crota Zen hater. And then they butchered it more in D2. But here in D1, it was fine the way it was. But in D2, they just did not make it great. But Shadowkeep, it just... Although... Oh, fuck. I also have seen, like, videos about this expansion, and they did give us Armor 2.0? I think it was 2.0. I think it was that. So Armor 2.0, Weapons 2.0, all of that. Basically all of that, yeah. It was pretty much when we got the whole 6-tier system, or 6 stat tier system, whatever it was called, but we got that. And it was good. It was pretty good with how it was. Especially for weapons. But it didn't do very much. I'm gonna be honest. Shadowkeep, very forgettable. It didn't hook me in. It just didn't hook me in. Although Pit of Heresy, I wish they vault that one because it doesn't do much. Also, speaking of vaulting, this was the expansion that kind of started it all. So for an instance, you know how D2 Year 1 was like, we got the Red War campaign? That's gone. That's wiped out of existence. Yeah, you can't play that campaign anymore. You can't play any of Red War anymore. You can't get the weapons. It's basically called sunsetting, where they get rid of stuff that you paid for. And that's messed up. That's really messed up. It's similar to how Ubisoft fucking got rid of, what was it, The Crew? That car game? I don't really know much about it, but essentially that game got completely wiped from existence by Ubisoft. At least this is how my explanation of how sunsetting works. It gets rid of stuff that you paid for, or stuff that you can't access anymore, or stuff like that. And unfortunately, this was a victim, and apparently this one was so bad it needed to be, which I guess. This one was better, but not as much, but it had to be there. This one was, like, considered to be the S plus expansion, but boo fucking who couldn't fucking play it because Bungie took it out of the game. But yeah, this one was kind of the start of the whole we're getting rid of old stuff kind of thing. And they wanted to make this game a whole live service, and I hated it. I hated it. Make a D3 for fucking crying out loud. This game can't go on forever. Alright, but next up, Beyond Light. Now, this is an interesting one, because I'm going to put it right here in the B tier. But you know what? I'm going to get back to Shadowkeep. So Shadowkeep also introduced a new enemy called Champions. This is the most controversial enemy type in all of Destiny. So what are the Champions? You got 3 types of these things. You got Overloads, Barriers, and Unstops. And what do they all do? They all act differently. So for Overloads, they regen health endlessly. And as a Borderlands 2 player myself that played the game countless of times, I get PTSD from thinking about those, because in the fucking bunker raid, those 2 turrets that are on the walls, yeah, they have infinite health regen, and that's what I literally think of. As for the barriers, They pull up a shield that is literally impossible to penetrate, and they just regenerate health. As for the unstops, they're just big, beefy, tanky enemies. I mean, you can kill them, but it's going to take you a while. So how do you counteract these? You got to use a certain gun with the seasonal mod. Now, thankfully, later on, they did make it more easier to deal with that. However, they still suck, which we'll get to the easy part later on. But also, I'm going to cut it from here because I got to take care of my animals for a sec. So I'll cut it here. I'll get back to the list. There I go. All right, goobers, I'm back. So I had a power outage, so I think it was best that I took that out. So we're back with the list. All right, so now we're on to Beyond Light. Beyond Light. This one was a confusing one. But, I'm going to put it here. The hype for getting a darkness subclass was up there. I love the idea of getting up there. To get a darkness subclass and us wielding it, and the way they built it up was insane. Now, granted, I heard it was broken, and I wasn't there at that time, but it was stupid. It was really stupid, from what I heard. And yeah, this is when we got the whole subclass 3.0 thing starting to happen. This didn't use the stupid trees that the light subclasses used, which I hate that they did that for like how long? Good lord, it was such a while ago. But yeah, Beyond Light starting to kind of fix things in terms of quality of life, I guess, but it unfortunately sunsetted Forsaken, which I wish they sunsetted Shadowkeep, but it's in the new systems. I don't care. Anyways, Beyond Light, the story I thought was fine. I don't really remember much because I can't really replay it. Can't even replay the damn story. All you just get is that. But yeah, it was a cool expansion. It's just not the best. Deepstone Crypt was a pretty good raid, although I haven't done it in years. It's a good raid. Yeah, and the exotics, I don't remember a whole lot of them, but I do remember Cloud Strike, and that one is literally the only weapon cheaters are using. And Bungie, stop using Battle Eye anti-cheat. It's not good. The game is so bad that cheaters are now unbanning themselves. Get a new anti-cheat. Figure it out. Also, South Asian's Grip. I think that's what that grenade launcher was called. That's only used for speedrun strats. I don't ever see anyone use it for anything else. And what else is there? I'm trying to remember. Because I haven't played this game in like a bit, and we'll get to the reasons why. Yeah, I don't remember much, but all I remember was the Darkness subclass, the story, everything else. It was fine. It's kind of a step up from Shadowkeep, which wasn't hell. I did not like it. But yeah. Up next, 30th anniversary. Should I even count this? No, fuck it, why not? I'm gonna put an ace here. And for one reason, Galley. Who wouldn't want Galley back in this game? The pinnacle of exotics. Gallahorn. And it still pisses me off to this day that Bungie, for some reason, made this exotic not as good anymore. They've been nerfing it so many times. Why? We also got Grasp of Avarice, which, a good dungeon, but please update the weapons for crying out loud. Like, I don't understand why the weapons are just not updated. I want to use EA's Luna, which used to be the best gun in the game, but unfortunately has been nerfed to hell. Matador is still fucking strong in PvP. As for the other weapons, I literally do not remember what else was there. All I remember was EA's Luna and Matador. That's all I remember. The armor is sick as hell. Like, this is the armor set that was used in the dungeon. Fucking love it. Phenomenal. And the weapons. We got the BXR Battler, the 2 Eager's Edge swords, which are literally used for speedruns. The pinnacle of speedrunning. And this is when speedrunning began to shine everywhere in this game. Ooh, what else? Oh, and by the way, they made those weapons red borders, and I'm happy. They made all those weapons red borders, and I am fucking happy. But the next one in our hands is Witch Queen, and dare I say, S tier. This is when the subclass 3.0 thing is beginning to happen in the game now. Void 3.0. It started around in these seasons, which we'll get to, but the start of Void 3.0 was phenomenal. Even though it was broken in PvP, but yada yada yada, whatever. Let's get to the expansion now. The best thing about D2 was crafting weapons. It is by far the best thing they could have done for this game. And they expanded on it more and more and more. And then they now made it to where the option where you can enhance world drop weapons to make them not useless anymore. That way they have competition. Ooh, we'll get to that. But yeah, crafting and being able to choose the role you want is such a time saver. Now, unfortunately, to get these red borders, you have to do these with each character each fucking week. And yes, they're weekly. So like, you wanted to get a seasonal weapon, it has to be during weeks. You wanted to get a raid weapon, it has to be through weeks. This and this and that and that and that. Yeah, it was kind of stupid, but at least you're not gonna farm for a randomized roll of one weapon constantly. And also, the Hive Lightbearers. Now, they are kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, don't get me wrong. But they become such a joke when you have the right shit against them. The whole story, it felt secretive and it felt so nice hearing about the lore and everything. Oh, and Savathun, one of the better villains we've ever had in this game in recent years. She's a baddie, and she's kind of a dick, but she works. And also, what else? The one thing that I love also the most about this expansion is Vow of the Disciple. Phenomenal raid. It's both hard and casual at the same time, and it's a fun raid. Now, third encounter, yeah, it's a bit of an ass, but once you figure that out, this whole raid is so free. And Rolk, one of my favorite raid bosses in this game. As for the weapons in there, Cataclysmic, it's still a goated weapon. Even after its nerfs, it's still a goated linear. Submission machine gun, SMG, it's an alright weapon. I do remember hearing it was OP, but not as OP as Forbearance. That grenade launcher that literally broke the whole game. The glaive, whatever. The pulse, whatever. Oh, and also you get to replay the whole campaign. And Legendary. This is when this game started innovating. And thank God they did. And this was literally the good time for me to come back, because this was a good-ass expansion. Because now we're getting to the seasons. Risen. This one, I don't know what to rate this one. Part of me wants to say A, but B. I'll go B. Season of Risen. I don't remember a whole lot about this season, I'm gonna be honest. All that I know, at the time, the weapons were okay. I don't even remember what any of the weapons were. I remember the auto rifle, which it's mid as fuck. I don't understand the hype between that gun. It's not that good. The rolls are just mid. I think there was the Void Bow. It had explosive head, which at the time was pretty good. I think it also had... Oh yeah, the Pulse. The Pulse rifle was apparently just stupid good in PvP. And what was the Waveframe grenade launcher? I think that's what it was. I'm trying to remember a lot of what came out during the season. But all I remember was Void 3.0, and it was fun. And the one thing I do remember a lot about this season was, oh, we get to go inside the Hive's mines, and then Crow was like, oh, that's cringe, we can't do that, so let's just rig the whole plan. At least that's what I remember. Yeah, that's just all I remember about this season. Going inside the Hive's mines, actually killing them inside. Oh, Savathun's in there, so use this stupid spear and throw it at her. It's been a while. I haven't touched this in a bit. I mean, yeah, because they took it out of the game, and they try and bring it back, and there are countless of times. I don't know why they keep doing that, but yeah, I'm just bored of it. It's just not that fun. Anyways, next up is Season of the Haunted. I actually like this season a lot more than Risen. Solely because Solar 3.0, when that came out, it's dumb. It's dumb. You know what, but fuck it, I'm just gonna put up the A. Solar 3.0 was stupidly dumb. It broke the whole game. We also had the Leviathan return, an actual explorable area for once. Oh, can't fucking do that anymore because they took it out again. And the weapons. I remember the weapons being just S tier. Drang, it's literally the dumbest gun in PvP. Callous Mini Tool, the one lifesaver for me in endgame. My back? Okay, sorry about that. My recording just for some reason crashed. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, Season of Haunted was good. The dungeon we got, Duality, it aged poorly. weapons were cool. Don't get me wrong, the weapons were cool. The armor... Bungie thought they were cooking with the armor. It doesn't even fit. It doesn't even fit the aesthetic of the dungeon. Piece of shit dungeon, man. Get that out of here. Yeah, I don't remember too much about this whole season. All I remember is everyone's past is haunting them. So we gotta end it all. I do remember this season being pretty good. But this one, not so much. This one... right here. It was a nothing burger. Season of Plunder. What can I say about this one, shall we? Two good things that they brought us was King's Fall. A phenomenal raid from D1. They didn't really change anything, so it's the exact same thing. But the weapons in that raid are S tier. However, Arc 3.0 that came out, and I, as anyone knows, I am a huge Arc fanboy. I love it so much. I abused it so much during the season. And that's about it. Really. I don't even remember what happens in this season. All I remember was the Destiny Companion app on phone was so broken it literally couldn't load up. There's just I don't even remember what even happens in this season, honestly. All I remember was we don't even kill Aramis. And Ido right here just says, "No, you can't do that. You can't do that." And then she just leaves. She just leaves. That's all I remember. This season, all I remember is just that. But we did get a new hub area, which was cool. And apparently it's supposed to be the Scourge of the Past raid that got removed. I literally read that somewhere. I could be wrong, but I'm not even sure. But Season of the Seraph. I don't know where to place this. But you know what? I'll place it above these. So I didn't get a chance to play this season a whole lot because when this first came out, I had a horrible fever. I had the worst fever I could ever have. I couldn't even move. My arms were sore, my back was sore, my head was dizzy. If I literally ate something, I would puke my guts out. It was so bad, and I literally couldn't even attend to this whole season because of my horrible fever, and I was still recovering from it. But yeah, Season of Seraph, I don't remember too much either, but what I do remember is the Traveler just goes away. We no longer see it in the tower. It's just gone. As for weaponry, well, the Killis SMG, literally my most used gun in the game. Outside of Gauss Melee Tool, outside of that. And the Akilo Shotty, it's literally only used for strand, grapple, melee, 1-2 punches. And this was supposed to hype up Lightfall, which will get to you, you little bastard. But yeah, Season of Seraph, I don't remember too much. Because I didn't get to play this whole season a lot, but all I did in this season was play the exotic mission countless and countless and countless of times because Bungie thought that was a good idea, and I wanted to stop playing. For fuck's sakes, stop making me play that mission, for crying out loud. I did not enjoy it. Sure, it was cool once I played it, but redoing it 30 times, that's not good. I didn't like that. However, the activity was okay. But yeah, I I didn't care for Season of Syrups too much. And people say it's the best season ever, but I didn't play it a whole lot. Because I remember my horrible fever and I was still recovering from it. And we also got Spyro the Watcher, which is just... It's just not... no, it's not a good dungeon. It's just lame. Moving on. Lightfall. Ooh, Lightfall. Where do I begin with you? I'm gonna put it at the bottom of D. Solely because of two things. Strand. That's one of them. And dealing with champs. So, remember how in the Shadowkeep rating, I literally said that they added champs and we need things to stun them? Well, they made it easier here. So now, they made it easier to deal with champs. For barriers, you just need volatile rounds, become radiants. And I think that's it? Or is there more? Fuck, I can't remember. All I remember is that you need volatile rounds. Oh, you also need unraveling rounds. That's right, you need unraveling rounds. As for the overloads, you just need to slow the target and use suppression and jolt. And for unstops, just tangle them. Use ignition and blind. That's all I can remember, basically, but yeah. That I loved. And for Strand, it was really fun. The grapple, one of the best things I've ever done. And now it's literally just the meta for fucking punching the bosses to death. Like, you can literally just one-phase them. And the whole game's just easy mode. With the perfect setup. But what makes this expansion so low, and part of me wants to say F because of it, is because of the story. It was pretty bad. There's just nothing in Lightfall. Where do I begin? The Veil. You might be wondering what that even is. Because I don't. You don't. No one does. They never went into detail about what the fucking Veil was. And in the first mission, you load in there, they start yapping about, we need to find out about the Veil. Okay, what is this Veil thing? This popped out of nowhere. This came out of nowhere. What is the Veil? Bungie, explain that to me. What is the Veil? And of course, they don't do that. They never do. I never want to. I do not fucking understand what is with Bungie. What were they cooking with this expansion? The writing was off. Nimbus, I could care less about that guy. I don't care if he's non-binary. That's not my problem with him. His character just sucks. The dude just does nothing. However, I will say, Neptune, despite its looks, it looks cool, I guess. It's the first endgame planet they tried making. Because, like, when you load in there, every enemy in that place has the red sword icon on them, meaning you're in endgame territory. That didn't really work. That did not work. So, I get they were trying to make an endgame, but they weren't cooking. They were not cooking. Also, can we just explain what they were also thinking about Threshers when this launched? Those were the raid boss of this expansion. It was stupid, annoying, and dumb. And also the raid, Root of Nightmares, I didn't do it too often. I've heard it was the easiest day one ever. And to be honest, I don't think the raid's that bad. It just doesn't hit the mark as like Vow or Wrath or fucking anything else above here. Root of Nightmares, it's just, it's whatever. I will say, best looking raid, but not the best in the world. Season of Defiance, I completely forgot about this season. I'm gonna be honest, I literally forgot about this season. Is this the one where... Oh, this is the one where Hawthorne dies. Okay. I'll put it above you. Defiance, I completely forgot what even happens here. I don't even remember this whole season besides Hawthorne just dying. Hawthorne? What am I saying? It's Amanda Holiday. God damn it. My brain is mush. I literally don't even remember what even happened in this game anymore. God damn it, this is what happens when you do... This is what happens when this does to a man. Because we'll get to you in a moment. And oh my god, I'm going to scream if I ever come back to this. For now, let's wait on that. Let's wait on that. So, Defiance, I don't remember what happens at all. And now I completely forgot about Amanda Holiday because they killed her off and just... Bungie, what were you cooking during Lightfall? And this? And then you try to kill off Amanda Holiday like, oh, I'm supposed to feel something? Her death was pointless. Her death was literally pointless. And now I completely forgot about her because you... Oh my god. Bungie, what are we doing? Okay. Moving on, because I don't even remember what happens in Defiance. But yeah. Season of Deep. The water season. The water season. I'm gonna place it below. Because the weapons in this season were god-awful. Now, I heard the hand cannon's okay in PvP, but everything else is trash. Besides the shotgun. The shotgun's also used for like 1-2 punch melees and all of that. It's literally just that. Everything else, I literally just don't like the weapons. However, we did get fishing, which was literally the only freaking thing anyone has ever done in this game. Because it gave you ascendant shards, it gave you exotics, it gave you actual rewarding loot. And then you'd have to pray that a public event wouldn't ruin your experience, because if that shit happened, time to reload the area or just wait until it's over. But nope, can't fish anymore because they took it out of the game. I also remember Ghosts of the Deep. It's not a very good dungeon. The armor's cool. The weapons were, they were okay up until... Oh, they don't have it? Oh, come on. Up until they reprised them and made them like actual god tier weapons. But Season of the Deep, it was a cool season, I guess. We got to go underwater. That was fun. Although weapons were awful. Didn't like it. Hated the weapons. And fishing literally brings us a whole lot up, but they took it out. Can't do anything anymore in this fucking expansion. But yeah. Season of Deep. It was kind of okay. I didn't think it was that bad of a season, it just didn't hit as well as anything else. I already know this list is probably going to get dogged on because, like, I don't like being mean. And I haven't played D2 in freaking... since this came out. All the way to here. I played this at launch and then just dropped it because it was so bad. I couldn't even finish the damn campaign on this because it was bugged. Or maybe it wasn't because I was still a child when this came out and I didn't understand a whole lot about things. But yeah, that was just about it. Seasonal Witch. This... I'm gonna place a day. The activities on this one were actually really fun. They were really fun. The weapons were... they were okay. And this whole, like, card system, I think it was, I'm still trying to remember this. The whole card system and, like, this boon-ish system that they tried doing, because they did it in Heresy again, but this one was just really fun. Although I will say, it did kind of drag on a little bit when I didn't have much else to do in this expansion anymore, so I just kind of dropped it off for a little bit, but... And this is where Eris becomes, you know, mommy. Literally, that's the whole expansion. Or pet season. I'm getting lost already, bro. Because I just want to get this list done already so I can go to my rant about this, and also this, and everything else. Good lord, I'm gonna cry. Season of the Witch was actually pretty good. The activities were really fun, although I don't remember too much about them. But they were good. As for Season of the Wish, this was an also phenomenal season. And this is the one season I will remember the most about. Because we got... I'm surprised they included this. The weapons... I don't remember too much about, but this one activity, the coil. Bungie did bring it back, but it doesn't work. However, the coil was super fun. It was super fun. Running in there, having to pray to God that I get actual teammates that know how this mode works. Yeah, the coil was really fun. Seeing Riven again, just so we can enter the fucking... Just so we can enter the damn Traveler. For this. Ooh. Ooh. What a way to hype it up. Also that ending cutscene on this season, where Crow just gets in there, and he sees fucking Cade, and we reunite with Cade 6. Ooh. What a way to hype up the fucking final shape. Because now we got Into the Light. Dare I say it? S tier. Bungie, please do something like this again. Because what you got right now ain't cutting it. Into the Light brought back some old weapons and literally turned them into the best guns in the game. Well, besides Hung Jury. We got Super Black. We got Onslaught. We got fucking Pantheon. Bungie, bring this back. Please. Like, for once in my life, bring back Pantheon. But don't make it how Ride of the Nine did it, because that was horribly done. But please, give us Into the Light back. This literally saved the game. And hell, the whole thing was free. It was free. It was fucking free. Bungie, bring back Into the Light. I also forgot to mention in Season of the Wish, we got Warlord's Ruin, which, phenomenal dungeon, but weapons were pretty dumb, and you only went for Indebted Kindness because it's the only good weapon in the game, and it was the first ever fucking rocket sidearm in the game. Yeah, Into the Light, please come back. We need you. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, this season as well brought back Crota's End and made it worse. So fuck that. It's going on top of B. They made Crota's End worse in this one. And no wonder why it's my least favorite fucking raid. Especially in D1 it still sucks, but it was not as bad as this. Anyways, now on to Final Shape. What can I say about this? Oh, fuck, I'll just put it here. You know what? Dare I say it? Fuck it. I'm saying it. Final Shape was perfect. It was perfect. We reunite with Cade, and we got a new enemy faction to beat the living shit out of again. It feels nice to do that. And this is supposed to end the Light versus Darkness saga, and goddamn they did it. With all the weapons, the world weapons in this raid, or not raid, god damn it, what am I saying? Oh, I'm stuttering. The world weapons in this expansion, phenomenal. The double shot hand cannon, I didn't use too much, but it was good. The Call, the best gun in the game, used to be. The Fusion, people overhated it. And the sword, I didn't use it, neither did the sniper, but we also got a really well-written story here. Zavala's new voice actor, he did a good job. He did a good job. Cade was the best thing about this expansion, and also the final fight between the Witness. We got 3 battles against him at the end of the campaign, in the fucking raid, which I still haven't beaten the damn raid to this day because I have ADHD and it's fucking horrible. And also Excision, the 12-man activity. Can you believe that? The first ever thing to happen is a 12-man activity, and it's against the big bad. This was basically the Avengers Endgame of this game. And goddamn, they succeeded. The ending literally brought a tear in my eye, man. And then this is when Destiny officially ended. Well, for me at least. And for everyone else, because everyone left after this expansion. Because goddamn, they succeeded in making a good ass ending. And it felt awesome to do. And we also got, I cannot ever forget this, we got Prismatic. Subclasses combined into one. And exotic class items that actually do something. Because for those who don't know, there are actually exotic class items in the original D1. But all they did is increase your reputation gains. And if you also pre-order this, you would also get the subclass versions of those. Like, you know, the new subclass, you got the hammer, this and this. You got the class items for those, but those will just like increase the XP gains for those, but they were just eh. But here they made them fucking amazing. And they needed more with them too. Now the only problem with those is you have to use prismatic on those. I know, I can't use my regular subclass on those. But it is what it is. And you also got a 2-man the mission to get those. I know. Big controversy there, but come on. How can I not put this at S? If not above. Oh, and Kvasov came back. Ergo Sum, a special weapon sword that can get different abilities. Come on. This was the shit. Hell, I don't even think... I'm pretty sure this and this are like neck and neck to each other. Because I've seen so much hype between these two and people are deciding which one's better. But I'm going to keep this right here because I still haven't played this fucking expansion. And I wish it did to see what the hype was about. But yeah, final shape, phenomenal. S tier. What a way to end it off. But then we got the episodes. Echoes. Now, I did play this one a lot because, you know, it was during Final Shape. And I was having so much fun with Prismatic and everything else, but Echoes unfortunately suffers here. Now, for weapons, it was fine. The activities, they were just super boring. Although I will say, it was cool to have Failsafe come back. Because she's been rotting in Nessus for so long. It was nice to get her back. However, that doesn't save it from how poorly written this was. And now we have our new big bad, Maya Sunderish, a robot lesbian wife beater. And Bungie is literally being stereotypical about this. A lesbian robot wife beater. And her character sucks. She does nothing. And at the end of this season, she literally floats away in Vexcom River like she was at a freak-off party. Quoting from Skeletor. I was like, what was that ending? What did we even do? What even happened? That's all I remember from this fucking season, or sorry, episode. That was so stupid. It was so dumb. Yeah, episode Echoes was stupid. But what's even more stupider was Revenant. If I could put this lower than F, I would. I absolutely would. Revenant was the worst time to ever play this game. I literally quitted the game after, like, Vesper's Host came out, which that dungeon I heard was, like, really bugged. I've only done that dungeon twice. I've never beat it. I've done it once on day one, and I did it twice. I got to the end of it, was about to finish, but unfortunately a buddy of mine wanted to play Trials, so we had to set that down. And that was like after this whole season ended, or sorry, episode. But yeah, I literally dropped the game here and there, and it was a buggy mess. One example, Waitgate. One of the most damning things in the world is Waitgate. For those who don't know what that is, this is based off from what I've seen of it. Imagine this. You want to get a grenade launcher that has the best roll that you can possibly get. But you've spent so many hours farming for that one roll, and you still can't get it to this day. Apparently, it was bugged. You couldn't get a 5 out of 5 god roll. It was so bad that Bungie literally had to put god rolls at Banshee in response to this whole issue. You had Rose, the Chill Inhibitor, which was the dungeon grenade launcher, and Deaded Kindness, for some reason. Multi-Mock, which, not gonna lie, it's a pretty good weapon. And what was that shotgun compass rose? I think that's what it was called. I don't fucking remember. It was the Solstice shotgun that got added in there. And I think that was about it. It could be, there could be more. I don't remember because I claimed all the weapons. And yeah, I don't really remember too much. But I didn't play this season. I literally deleted the game off of my console, which, by the way, I was still a console boy at the time. And then later on this year, when the season was about to end, I got a PC, and I feel great about it. Yeah. But I did have to go back and play console, because this game is still on console, not PC. Can't wait for the emulators. Yeah, Season of Revenant was terrible. And it's even worse that the story didn't make sense either. Ido? Why? Why does she all of a sudden, talk to her at her laboratory area, but once you're done, go talk to her in the holoprojector, even though she is right there near the thing, but when you go to the holoprojector, she's there, but then when you exit out the holoprojector, she's just gone? She's just not there. And also, can we talk about the ending? Fickroll. Now, the idea of this season was supposed to be vampires, right? But instead, we just got Scorn with red eyes. That's it. That's all we got. And the guy that we killed, Fickroll, he was bringing back Scorn that were dead as revenants. And for some reason, one of them, which was Skulass, he's for some reason still back. At least from what I've read. But he's for some reason still back and alive. Even though we killed Fickroll. Which, we'll get to that now. So how do we kill Fickroll? We weaken him. And we stab him with a green needle. And he just melts. Melts to the ground. God, what was Bungie fucking... My explanations could be wrong, but like this season was so confusingly terrible. I just brain hurt. And also, can we just talk about the weapons? The weapons are god awful. The only thing that I cared for was the splicer weapons. Those looked cool. And also, there were 2 weapons people were going for. It was the shotgun and the grenade launcher. The special grenade launcher, not the heavy one, but... that's all I heard. All in all, Revenant was terrible. Also, what makes this even worse, they for some reason want to get rid of crafting. So what they did is give you a tonic system. Now, granted, you can enhance the weapons, but that doesn't make it better. I still want to craft my guns. Crafting was the best thing that this game ever added, and you just want to take it out of the game? Which, by the way, they successfully did with this. Revenant is such a joke. Like, get the fuck out of here, Revenant. Well, in that case, next up is Episode Heresy. This is way better than the other 2. I will say it's definitely up here. They, for some reason, did family drama right in this one. So, we go to the Dreadnought, and we get to experience a roguelite mode. It was actually enjoyable, not gonna lie. It actually felt fun to do. It felt nice. Even though we can't regen health or anything, but it still felt nice doing. Also, Arc Titan during this season was stupidly broken. And we also got one of the most annoying PvP guns to ever exist. The Redrix Broadsword. Or S-Stock. I think that's what it was called. All I remember is this is just Redrix. The gun was stupid. And after many, many nerfs, the gun still dominates because Bungie doesn't know how to nerf a gun correctly. But not surprising because Titans were broken in PvE. Arc Titans. Use Le Monarch. You just use Le Monarch, put down Bolt Charge Barricade. Easy. It's just an easy win. You could even solo GMs during that whole thing. Arc and Void during this season was broken. But then we got the Tome of One, which I still hate it, but it was way better than how this did it. In the exotic, I don't even remember anything about the mission, and I didn't care for the gun because when I first saw it just regens ammo, I was just immediately bored because we already have roles in the game that do that, so I don't know why the fuck we managed to make a cool looking gun be boring at the same time. It should have been a throwing weapon, man. It should have been a throwing weapon. But yeah, they done family drama right, and Oryx is a Chad when he came back. Dude is like, you killed me? Well, you're an absolute Chad then. Oryx literally compliments you for killing him. This is why I fucking love that guy, man. The dude just does not give a flying fuck about what's going on. He cares about you and you only. No one else, just you. That's it. He just cares about you. But then the season did kind of drag on a bit because, you know, every ending season lasts for like God knows how long. They do this all the time. I don't know why. And then we also got Rite of the Nine during this. Oh, I forgot to mention Sundering Doctrine. It was an okay dungeon. Second encounter is just abysmal to do solo. But however, it's not bad. Weapons were fine. The hand cannon, I still want the god roll for that thing. The trace rifle I heard was nice, and the shotgun I've heard was like the DPS option as a slug. I don't know. Slugs also during the season were also OP in PvP. And also PvE, because if you constantly kept swapping, it's just dumb. And I also saw that the scout rifle was killing in like seconds, like 0.1 seconds. That was confusing. But we also got Vault of Glass reprised. Oh, I also forgot to mention here, they reprised Garden with craftable weapons, which I guess that's fine because the weapons in that raid are good. And here they reprised Vault of Glass weapons, which I absolutely loved. Fatebringer is goated. He's in Vengeance is OP as hell. I still need the fucking adept version of the damn thing. But yeah, Heresy did kind of fix the problems with this and this, but it wasn't too much because we also got Rite of the Nine. Let's just pretend that this is Rite of the Nine. So Rite of the Nine was so disappointing. I'm gonna put it right here because the weapons were at least really, really good. But that doesn't excuse it for how awful it was. So what do they do here? It's supposed to be a Into the Light Pantheon kind of thing to hype up Edge of Fate, but they fucked it up somehow. They time gated the dungeons for like 2 or 3 weeks, and that was it. They time gated them. So the first few weeks was Spire. I was already bored of that dungeon. That dungeon is so lame. And then the second part was Ghosts of the Deep. The weapons were worth chasing for, but that dungeon does suck. And then lastly, Prophecy. Whew, the shotgun in that one was... You got the first ever shotgun to have 1-2 punch and trench barrel. The wombo combo. And it was melting bosses too. It was so stupidly broken. Yeah, the weapons were worth chasing down. They were really good. But it's just... They just time gate it so much. And it just feels like a slog to do. Oh man, they tried to do what Into the Light did, but they failed miserably on it. It's just, yeah, it wasn't fun. Although it was nice to get the weapons. But that doesn't matter because we're now going to move on to this. Oh God, what do I say? Berber, this expansion will get better. Just have faith and promise that it'll get better soon. It's gonna get better. The grind isn't gonna be bad. The sunsetting isn't gonna be bad. And also, it's gonna be a phenomenal expansion. Don't worry, they'll fix the issues. It's just time gated. You have to deal with that. Berber. Edge of Fate is the worst expansion I have ever played and is an absolute insult to the gaming industry as a whole. I do not understand what Bungie thought what they were cooking with, but this is not it. This is single-handedly the worst expansion out of any game I have ever played. I thought Tiny Tina's Wonderlands DLCs were so bad, but this is a whole new low. I think I would rather come back to Revenant than this. I think Lightfall is S tier now because of this. I think Shadowkeep was not boring because of this. And I've never played Curse of Osiris, but I've heard it was terrible. But I think I would place it on top of S tier if this didn't exist. Where do I even begin with this one? They soft sunsetted 90% of this game. They made crafting pointless. They made your old gear pointless. They made old weapons pointless. They made the other content pointless. They made stuff that you paid for not worth it. And you basically got fisted so horribly. This might genuinely be, if not the worst era out of any video game I have ever seen. I had benefit of the doubt that this expansion would at least be okay. Like maybe around here. But no. They have constantly made L after L after L after L after L, and it keeps going and going and going. But Berber, they're listening. They're listening. Are they? Explain this. Also, I'm gonna pull it up. Explain this. And explain this. But also explain this. I'm genuinely surprised that there's people actually defending this. But we live in a society where AI might take over humanity. Because this expansion is so god-awful, I genuinely want to... I don't even know anymore. This is the worst expansion I've actually ever played. I know people like to make fun of Lightfall for having a terrible story and a terrible game design choices here and there. I know people like to make fun of Shadowkeep for being boring and uninspiring. I know people like to make fun of D1 for having such a bad start. I know people like to make fun of D2 for having a terrible launch. I know people like to make fun of this for being so awful that it almost nearly shut the game's servers down. I know people like to make fun of this for being as bad of a season as it is. But nowhere near are these as bad as this. But you know what? This expansion was actually such a perfect advertisement to play BL4, Borderlands 4. I'm fucking hyped to play that game. Even though I've heard the performance is so ass, that's not stopping me from playing it. Because I am genuinely so scammed out of this DLC. I am genuinely just wanting to play BL4 now. And yeah, sure, BL4 might have a god-awful launch, but I can assure you that this also had a god-awful launch. And it was a damn good expansion. And we had to deal with that. We also had D2 that launched like ass, and it had terrible game design choices, but it had a good-ass story. This also was boring because it had nothing to do, but it was a good-ass game. This is worse. This game does absolutely nothing. And so many people that played this expansion left. And you know what? I'm one of those people. I'm done. I'm actually done. Edge of Fate is by far the worst expansion ever created. The only thing good about this expansion is they finally did something about the 9. But that doesn't save it. They've made so many gameplay choices that genuinely just suck. But let's begin with it, shall we? The portal. It made the whole world useless. In fact, when this expansion launched, the world was literally desaturated, making it look so dead and empty and pointless. So why is it even there? I mean, you could still access some parts of it, but there's no point in doing that, because they literally soft sunsetted 90% of this game. But Berber, you can use the old gear. You can use your old weapons. You can still use anything else. Okay, then explain this to me. And this. Oh, and also this. That still is considered sunsetting. I mean, sure, you can raise the power level up on these, but they don't get benefits at all. You have to use new weapons to get the new benefits. Otherwise, you're fucked. You don't get damage resist, you don't get damage boost. You're fucked. And the new stats, well, I like the new stats. I like that they made super actually matter. I actually like that your fucking melee stat matters instead of it just cooldowns, no resilience, no mobility. Well, mobility did absolutely nothing at all because all it did was increase your strafe speed and your burst jump height and your walking speed. It was still pointless. But now that they got rid of it and replaced it with weapons, this is the only thing I like about this expansion is the stats. However, build crafting is just dead. It's fucking dead. And for some reason, the mobile game of this does the tier system so much better than how this did. For some reason, a mobile game figures out everything, but Bungie doesn't know how to figure out their own game. This is genuinely the worst expansion ever. And yeah, sure, the new raid might be cool and all. I didn't finish it, and I don't care to finish it. You don't even get tier 5s out of that raid, especially when you're doing the whole 5 feet thing. It's not even worth doing. And also, they tried to make everything just Verity and have bosses at the same time. It just doesn't work. I like that it's like a boss rush kind of raid, because I love... Part of me that loves Last Wish so much is that it's kind of a boss rush mode. And I love that. I love doing DPS on a boss constantly, instead of just solving a puzzle constantly. Which you still have to do that, but at least it didn't feel too forced. And the giant harpy is cool and all, but the raid's just pointless. There's no reason to do it. And now the new big bad is Maya Sunderish, who is a complete nothing burger of a villain, and is a stereotypical lesbian robot wife beater. And she is just so uninteresting. But now we fast forward up into fucking Ashen Iron, which we're gonna pretend this is Ashen Iron. It's even worse. So apparently we're supposed to go back to the Plague Lands, but there's no plague. Where's Siva? And also another thing, I actually watched live streams of this. There's a dialogue where Anna herself says, Maya brings back the Red Legion through time travel. That still doesn't excuse as to why Siva will never return. There's still dumbasses out there saying that they can't bring back Siva because it's been destroyed. What the fuck was that dialogue option then? Why did she say that? Maya pulls back the Red Legion through time travel, where they still existed. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Or they probably could have, they could have just brought Scorn, and it would have been even better than just bringing back the Red Legion for some reason. They can't even bring back Red War, but they brought back the Red Legion. They couldn't even come up with anything. They couldn't even come up with any excuse. All they could come up with is time travel on why the Red Legion are back. So by that same logic, they could have brought back Siva. But no, they chose not to. At this point, I'm just done. I'm done. Like, I'm actually quitting D2. There have been times where, yeah, sure, the game was in such an awful state, it's dying, or this and that, it's a microtransaction hell here and there. It has nowhere been near as bad as this. And I couldn't even name anything worse than Season of Revenant. But good lord, Edge of Fate and Ash and Iron are so bad. Do not spend money on this, please. It doesn't reward you. It's also pointless too, because if you pay for this, it's pointless. Because all of what you're doing is grinding for the free content to reach max power level. And the power level grind is so bad that it makes every other grind, it makes Call of Duty grinding seem more rewarding than this. Hell, D1's I am so pissed that it's making me not speak anymore. D1 also had a bad power grind, but guess what? You can at least have fun doing that. Wanted to do a raid and power grind? You can do that. Wanted to do Prison of Elders and power grind? You can do that. Wanted to do strikes? You can do that. It actually rewards you. And the weapons you gain from it actually feel nice. But Edge of Fate just disses you so much. And this too. Which, by the way, I still don't know what these two are. I'm guessing these are D1 things, but I'm just going to pretend this is Ash and Iron, and then this is like a Red of the Nine. But for now, I'm done. I'm quitting Destiny 2. I went back and played D1, and my god, that game is just so phenomenal. And now it has a lot of error codes that are just breaking the game, because I'm pretty sure Bungie did this purposefully just to make people play Edge of Fate. I'm done. I'm officially done with this franchise now. And just for my own sake, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I want to know how to do this. Hide this game. I don't want it in my system anymore. You know what? How in the world do I permanently remove this game from my account? You know what? I can't even do it anymore. I'm done. I'm actually done. This was by far the worst. By far the worst expansion, and yet the most god-awful state this game has ever been in. I don't think it can recover. They have made so many poor decisions that I don't think they can recover. This is terrible. This is so bad. How did we go from Final Shape being one of the best expansions ever created to this? This is just disgusting. And I have a trophy in my hands. The original copy of Destiny 2 Day 1 at launch for PS4. I still have that disc version. And it is still a trophy in my hands because they made this game free to play, and it's pointless to get the disc version of this game now. You don't need it anymore. I'm pretty sure those have been removed, but I still have it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna burn it. I'm burning it. I'm done. I am officially quitting this game for good. And just so I don't see this in my collection at all, I am burning this. Yeah, I'm burning it. So that was my tier list of Destiny expansions. Now, it is unfortunate I didn't play these during the time, and I would love to come back to these. But as of now, Edge of Fate, I just don't think I can even play it. I am done. I do not want to play anymore. This was genuinely the worst time to ever be a fan of this game, ever. There are so many new games now that literally are going to crush this game now. And looking at Steam reviews, it's not looking good. It is overwhelmingly negative, and it is so bad. Ash and Iron literally killed the game even more. So Bungie, quit saying you're listening, because you're not. This was terrible. What an absolute joke and embarrassment. Yeah, that's my list. And Edge of Fate can go die. And it can go downhill as probably the worst expansion ever created. Worst season, worst expansion, worst thing, worst game ever. I don't even want to touch this anymore. Like, just get this out of my face. Just pretend it's not real. Just pretend it doesn't exist. So yeah. That is my list. I will see you goobers later. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this sickening thing to the ground. So, I'll see you goobers in another video later. Goodbye.